Welcome back. I'm prepared to be bedazzled because today we're going to be shedding light on the top reasons appertaining to why Superman's life often becomes easier for him to live in his 30s relative to his 20s. So why is it significantly easier for a Superman to live his life in his 30s relative to his 20s in most contexts? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. First and foremost, if a Superman was accruing substantial pragmatic knowledge in his 20s, expanding his repertoire in his 20s, and amplifying his competencies in his 20s, and he'll be all the more aptly poised to be successful in his 30s. As per his worthwhile overarching goals and worthwhile higher aspirations, it is significantly easier for Superman to be all the more primed to reach his worthwhile overarching goals and attain his worthwhile higher aspirations in his 30s if he was making inroads towards progression in his 20s. It is significantly easier for Superman to be able to live his life in his 30s if he no longer has a Brobdingnagian onerous burden of completing degree programs as he had in his 20s. A Superman's life should be significantly easier in his 30s relative to his 20s, especially if he was able to build up sizable recurring revenue streams on autopilot in his 20s that have the latent potential to furnish him with recurring revenue in perpetuity. It is easier for Superman to be able to live his life in his 30s if he liberated the requisite time to be able to pursue following health optimization measures for the prospect of being able to attain robust, vigorous, stellar health. A Superman will be all the more aptly poised to attain profoundly successful career outcomes in his 30s, especially if he possesses the knowledge, capabilities, competencies, skills, confidence, and wisdom of a 30-year-old post his 20s elapsing. Even though there is no guarantee that a Superman's life will become easier to live in his 30s relative to his 20s, a Superman should, however, be acutely aware that if he performs his due diligence in his 20s, then he'll render himself at a higher probability to live an easier life in the subsequent decade. All men should always be virtuous, righteous, and moral. All men should always be subservient to God and Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, enthralling, insightful, engrossing, and informative. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.